What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm Warren Thompson, and today we have some pretty big news about Deadpool 3 and about Spider-Man 4, specifically in regards to Tom Holland's new contract, but also about Jon Watts and Zendaya as well. And as far as Deadpool 3 is concerned, it looks like some of our predictions were correct. And it looks like fans could be getting the story that a lot of us actually wanted. And not to mention, recently Hugh Jackman has opened up about him returning as Wolverine, so we'll talk about that in this video as well. Also, for the G Fuel fans, great news, my code has been permanently moved to 20% off. It's now 20% off all the time unless I tell you it's actually more than 20% off, like 30 or 40% off, which will happen sometime. So now you can use my code to get the awesome Marvel Collectors items from Thor, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, all of the Spider-Man ones, and also not to mention any of their other cool flavors like The Boys or Naruto. And of course, they come in cans, they come in powders, they also have sparkling hydration bottles as well. So if you're a big energy drink junkie like me, you can use my code COSMIC for 20% off on gfuel.com. So we've been talking a lot about Spider-Man and his contract recently, not only with Spider-Man the character in the MCU, but also Tom Holland as well. So let's talk about that first, because I know everybody wants to know what's going on. Now, recently, it's actually been revealed that the MCU Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man, is going to be in Across the Spider-Verse. We don't know if it's actually going to be voiced by Tom Holland, but clearly there are things in the works here for Spider-Man and Tom Holland himself. And today we have a new report to go over coming from the account Tom Smith, who has been right about some leaks in the past. And yesterday he tweeted, Tom Holland's Spider-Man 4 is on the fast track. Holland is signed, but one thing that needs to be settled is the director. Watts is wanted back, but he experienced superhero burnout and dropped out of Fantastic Four for a reason. Zendaya is also wanted back, hashtag Spider-Man. And he continues to say in the thread, the goal is to film in 2023 for a summer 2024 release. That's already been reported by mycosmiccircus.com. Sony's been working on the story and script for this film since No Way Home release, so as soon as they lock in a director, it should be ready to film. Now, we're gonna go over the whole thread and then talk about it, but as far as this particular part is concerned, this is true. Not too long after Spider-Man No Way Home released, maybe a week, maybe two, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige and Sony executive producer Amy Pascal came out together and stated that they have already begun working on the next Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man 4, and they specifically said that they were specifically telling us this so fans didn't have to worry about Spider-Man no longer being in the MCU, but we could have peace of mind knowing Spider-Man is indeed going to be returning to the MCU for yet another film. So that part is true. It has been confirmed for a while now that we are going to be getting a Spider-Man 4, and they have already begun to work on it when they stated that, which was almost a year ago. So things have been moving for Spider-Man 4 for a pretty long time now. But let's continue this thread. He continues to say, please note that it is Sony that have the power to announce the film. Kevin Feige / Marvel Studios do not pick the date. You will get a Spidey announcement at a Sony present event. And this is accurate. This is what we've been talking about for a while now. I mentioned this part because CCXP is right around the corner. We should not expect a Spider-Man announcement because Sony is actually not attending CCXP. They have backed out. Now, it is said that they've backed out due to some scheduling conflicts, due to some projects been moving around. So it is possible that we could be getting an announcement pretty soon. They're just trying to get everything together for it. But the thread ends with him saying, I think this was reported about a year ago, but one idea early in development was to have Miles Morales living in Peter Parker's apartment complex. I don't know if that stayed in the later drafts, but that is literally the only thing I've heard about the plot of Spider-Man 4. LOL. Now, I'm not sure who Tom's source is. I know he's posted things in the past, but most of this sounds like it's probably pretty accurate. Now, of course, they're going to want Zendaya to come back. She's one of the biggest actresses in the world, plus not to mention her relationship with Tom Holland. I'm assuming she'll want to come back to work with him again. Little awkward if she didn't. But just because her and Ned at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home forgot everything about Peter Parker doesn't mean that she's going to come back. I'm still convinced that the spell is going to be undone in some way, shape, or form, or Peter is simply going to tell MJ everything that happened and she'll somehow remember. So I don't doubt that MJ is going to return. However, I do doubt Jon Watts returning. I do not think Jon Watts is going to be returning to the MCU to direct anything anytime soon. He was originally set to direct the Fantastic Four film, which is a very, very huge deal and a project extremely close to Kevin Feige's heart. Kevin Feige had trust in him to direct that film, but he backed out because of superhero fatigue. He directed all 3 Spider-Man Homecoming trilogy movies, and plus, not to mention, Spider-Man No Way Home was probably extremely stressful for him trying to keep all of the secrets and direct amazing actors and bring all 3 Spider-Men on the screen for the very first time. So for him to direct that trilogy, plus not to mention one of the biggest superhero movies of all time, and then back out of another superhero film that could have been one of the biggest movies of all time as well, that's pretty big. So I do not believe he's coming back. But as far as Miles Morales is concerned, I think that if this is truly the last trilogy for Tom Holland's Spider-Man, Miles Morales is the next best move. He was already teased in Spider-Man Homecoming. We met Prowler, his uncle, who said he has a nephew, which confirmed that a Miles Morales does exist in the MCU somewhere, actually not too far where Peter Parker lives. And now Peter Parker has moved into a new apartment complex because, well, one, he doesn't really have anybody to take care of him anymore. There's no more Aunt May, no more Iron Man, and Happy doesn't have any idea who he is. But 2, he could have probably used some Avengers connections to get somewhat of a place, but he has to be in his own small, rundown place like we've seen him do many times in the comics, so he can actually grow as a character and be out on his own. And the idea of having Miles live in the same apartment complex of him, I think, is actually pretty cool. Either that or we could go down the road of them volunteering at Feast, which would make sense for Peter Parker to do because of Aunt May. So it seems like things are seemingly set for Spider-Man 4. It looks like Tom Holland has officially signed on to do more films. Rumor has it that the contract was for 6 more films, 3 Spider-Man films and 3 team-up films. So get ready for a lot more Spider-Man in the MCU, and of course, like I mentioned, Deadpool. Now today's news about Deadpool is pretty exciting. The insider account, who has been extremely accurate about all the leaks she's posted before, My Time to Shine Hello, has tweeted out Deadpool kills the Fox universe, and she added Robert Liefeld, the creator of Deadpool. This has been rumored to be the story of Deadpool 3 for a while now, but it looks like she has heard some inside information about what the movie is at least going to contain. We know that Deadpool will start off in the Fox universe, but somehow make his way to the MCU. We also know that the TVA and Mobius is going to be after him. And now it seems like we pretty much have a confirmation that he's going to kill the old Fox universe. Now this could be done in many different ways. One, he could simply go through the universe with Wolverine, killing a bunch of different characters. And even if this isn't the whole plot of the movie, I'm sure we're going to see some of this at least. But what actually makes more sense is that Deadpool and Wolverine end up causing an incursion, and the Fox universe is the universe that gets destroyed. This will tie in Deadpool with the TVA and tie in Deadpool with Avengers Secret Wars, which is going to be all about incursions. But also keep in mind that Ryan Reynolds mentioned that Deadpool 3 is going to be about a road trip with Deadpool and Wolverine, Rashomon style. Basically a road trip where each person recalls it a little bit differently. And I've mentioned this before, but they're probably going to kill a lot of people, but Deadpool's going to see it very differently than Wolverine. Deadpool will probably make it seem like they had no choice, when Wolverine will probably say that Deadpool instigated it all. So this could very much lead to the destruction of the Fox universe in one way or another. I think it's probably going to be a combination of both. But one thing is for sure, we are super excited to see Deadpool and Wolverine together again. Hugh Jackman returned as his iconic Wolverine, and recently he has mentioned that he thought he was going to retire after Logan. He never thought he was going to play Wolverine again until Deadpool 3 was announced. It wasn't even Ryan Reynolds trying to convince him to return. Hugh Jackman heard about Deadpool 3 and wanted to be in it. This is what he has recently said in an interview with Deadline.com. So Hugh Jackman is returning because he wants to, which means you know he's going to do an incredible job, as if we all had any doubt at all. So awesome Spider-Man and Deadpool 3 news. Let me know how excited you are about both of these projects in the comments down below, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. You can always follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.